Hey, I'm Dr. Michael Edelstein, a clinical psychologist, and I'm here with my YouTube partner, Mick Berry. Mick Berry is a longtime practitioner of rational emotive behavior therapy, as am I. Well, actually, Mick is a practitioner in the sense of practicing it on himself, and I'm a practitioner in the sense of practicing on myself and professionally with others. REBT is rational emotive behavior therapy, devised by Albert Ellis in 1955. And it's based on a simple premise, which is our emotions don't come from situations themselves, but rather come from our thinking about situations. And that's a very powerful idea, because if you are feeling anxious, depressed, angry, or guilty, then look at your thinking and you can change your thinking. And a particular type of thinking to look at is thinking in terms of demands: must, should, supposed to's, have to's. I must do well and get approval because I prefer to. Others must treat me well because I would like them to. And life must be fair, easy, and hassle free because I would like life to be that way. So our preferences make sense and are healthy and lead to motivation and incentive to try to improve the situation, but making them into demands is where the emotional problems come in. So let's get to our topic today, which is overcoming addictions with rational emotive behavior therapy and smart recovery. And to say a few words about smart recovery. Smart recovery is a self-help approach, mainly in terms of groups, that help people overcome addictive behaviors. And it was originally founded by myself and a few other REBT therapists in about 1991, Emmett Velton and Peter Bishop and myself. And there are groups online. So go to smartrecovery.org and you can find some groups online and join some of those groups. When did you first discover either smart recovery or rational emotive behavior therapy, whichever came first?
It was a smart group in San Francisco, in St. Francis Hospital, live, like offline, around 5 years ago, I'd say, in that period of time. Yeah, I found it on Meetup phone app, just looking for help at that point of time. Was seeking for different groups. I tried the 12-step groups, and yeah,
And what
luckily
did
found
you
Smart.
and what kind of help were you hoping for when you found smart recovery?
Well, I aim to beat my addictions and poor life choices, and at that moment it was marijuana smoking. I used to be a pothead. I used to smoke a lot, and that kind of took too much time of my life because I wasn't really enjoying it. But I've spent hours and hours consuming, preparing, or like hanging with the wrong crowd. So half of a day was like dedicated to weed smoking rather than actual life, and that was enough. That was another story behind it. Like I was involved in marijuana, and marijuana was a big part of my life, and I had enough of it. I found a nice city of San Francisco. I fell in love with that city. It gave me a big shift in my thinking, how I see myself in the future. So one of the steps I decided to do, get sober, uh, but also I have had some other behaviors like spendings and Yeah, wrong life choices. Yeah, I would spend every penny on a coffee shop, enjoying like fancy coffee, not having a roof over my head and things like that. So yeah, I was lost, silly, and first time, like I've been to the group therapy before, but first time in life, I reached out to find someone for a supportive help and guidance in recovery. And luckily, I
Oh,
found Smart San Francisco.
and also you were addicted to psilocybin or overusing psilocybin, is that correct?
Not really. Uh, not I haven't been addicted to psilocybin ever. Uh, for some reason, like I felt that I can be addicted to anything and everything I touch, like gambling and even not some substances, but any um, activities. So I was scared I can get used to or I can get addicted to psychedelics, which were the next type of drugs I tried, like and that year actually I have took psilocybin another time, and that what made me fell in love with San Francisco, quit smoking cigarettes, yeah, and quit smoking weed. So I just got scared that it's too powerful, and I've seen people on psychedelics using it constantly, even though it's been told not addictive drug, but I've seen their empty eyes and no happiness in it. I was scared to get addicted to it. Yeah, that's why I
Mick,
had the goal not to use it.
Did you want to chime in here?
Well, I'm just curious, Peter, how smart recovery helped you stop your addictive behavior. What was it that could you tell us specifically and concisely how it helped you to get out of your addictive behavior?
Yeah. Uh, so first I compared it to 12 steps. It's a common thing because I found the 12 steps first, and I liked the differences so much, so I never came back to 12 steps. I came back just to say bye and thank you for fellowship. And in fact, I got lucky to meet the first facilitator, a very intelligent and nice man who introduced the smart recovery in a way I liked a lot, in a scientific way, talking about this RBT approach and his own story. Uh, I looked around the guests in the room, and everyone seemed to be a adult.
Oh, Peter, sorry to interrupt, but getting back to Mick's question, which gets to the heart of the matter. In what ways, aside from going to the meeting, in what ways did you specifically use these ideas to help yourself with your addictive behaviors?
In a way that I joined that group and started doing the exercises on 3 days a week. So I would
What are the
participate.
Peter? What are the exercises that you're referring to? Could you specify what
The
an
most
exercise
powerful exercise I
they would?
found for myself was a 3 minute therapy or ABC exercise.
And how does that
Uh,
work? How did that work? What did you do? What's an ABC exercise and a 3 minute exercise?
shall I explain an exercise in my own words?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm questioning my irrational thinking. So uh, it it has a ABC, right? We start with the C. It has a consequence like my emotions, and I do apply it not only to addictions but to strong emotions. And the first surprise I got in like 2 or 3 weeks participating in Smart, I tried to apply it to my panic attack, and it worked with the flick of the fingers. Then I believed in these techniques strongly, and then Yeah, we start with that strong emotion, and then try to describe the background, the situation. Like I
Oh,
got to
Peter,
it
Peter,
at
Peter,
age eight.
Mick wants to get a
Yep.
word in here.
How
Mick
did it
wants,
how did it work in overcoming your panic attacks?
Do you want that story in a short way, or
Or
like?
you said it worked like that. Could you give us an example quickly?
Yeah. So once I questioned my irrational beliefs, once I asked a question, which is disputing your irrational beliefs at point B. And once I start trying to answer that question, not even having an answer yet, my
Peter, your sound went out. I can't hear him.
hello?
Now we
oh,
got
we can hear you now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm dummy with the technology. Too many sources of
I'm not
sound
good
here.
either. Yeah. So you were saying to get rid of the panic attack, what would be your irrational thought and what would you tell yourself to get rid of the panic attack?
Well, at that point, that particular night, there were cops searching cars at the parking lot of the marina. I had worked in that marina, and but at the same time, I was a homeless and slept in my car. So I had all kind of thoughts that those cops would chase me. In fact, they were more onto the next car. And when I had the rational explanation to what's going on, and yeah, the panic attack went off because all kind of thoughts jumped into my head. The possible reason I fantasized on the cops would be after me. But it was a so relaxed city of Emerville, the cops were never after anyone. They just, they're cool cops. And I was cool too because I really I worked and I was sober. There was nothing in my car, no criminal activities. So I had nothing to worry about, but I had the strongest panic attack.
Yeah, Peter,
Yeah,
we were going over the A, B, C, D, F, and Mick
right.
asked you how you use that to get over your panic attack. So what was your B, the irrational belief?
That the cops are after me.
That would be A, the activating event, because
The
remember, it's never
activating
a
event,
situation that, Peter, I just want to finish the question. It's never a situation that causes our emotions or panic, like the cops are after me, but it's always
yeah.
B, an irrational belief, a must or a should. Mick?
Yeah, and the activating event, Michael, is not that the cops were after him, it's that the cops were searching cars. That's
Right,
what
right.
it was.
Well, the cops were searching cars and then you thought they were after you. Is that right?
Yeah, right. That would be his belief, though. The event
Yeah.
was the cops searching cars.
Well, actually, I'm glad you brought that up, Mick, because this clarifies something at A. A normally would be the worst case scenario, because once, even if it's not the case, because once you accept the worst case scenario, then you can accept anything less. And then B is the must about A. And
Uh,
was your must, Peter? I must have a guarantee the cops are not after me.
At that point, I had that was 5 years ago, right? Like, but I still remember that night. I think that my must was like I must have done something wrong. I must be a bad person. I might be a criminal or something like that. So I thought of myself that I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
That's why I'm in the risk of cops getting me.
Right, and the must was, I must not I must, the cops must not be after me, not the cops
Right,
must be after. Yeah, right.
right.
Yeah, Mick?
well, I would also say, Michael, as far as the activating event, there's a real event and then there's the imagined activating event. I think what you're mentioning, Michael, is the imagined activating event, the cops after me. The actual event was the cops were searching cars. So there would be two possibilities to work on here. The cops could be after me, would be a scenario, or the cops searching cars. But saying the cops are after me is believing something about the cops searching cars.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, well, we can do a whole podcast on the ins and outs of the 3-minute exercises and the ABCs. And then, Peter, so apparently you got over the muss, and I assume this was pretty much the cognitive way you got over your addictions, by looking for your musts and getting over your musts, such as, I must satisfy my urge for a drink or to get high. I must feel better right now. Any of those ring a bell?
Yep, yep. Slowly that year, I have learned this ABC exercise that well, so I could apply it uh, uh, by myself without a group, just thinking of my life and not only to addictions but different must and shoulds. So I had to overcome spendings, poor life choices, and that helped a lot. That helps me until now. I'm using ABC because now I can do it in a minute, not in 3 minutes, and I like it.
That was very good. Yeah, Albert Ellis once commented about the title of my book, 3-Minute Therapy, and he said you can do it in 3 seconds. By
Right.
just reminding yourself, it's not a must. There's nothing that must be, although I prefer it not be. Okay, Peter, thank you for coming on and providing a real life example of using rational emotive behavior therapy to help you with your addiction. And Mick, did you have any last words?
No, just thanks so much, Peter. I'm glad things are working for you. It's very inspiring.
Very good. So thanks all, and thank you, Chris Brasini, for doing the tech engineering. Comment below if you have any comments about what you've viewed on this interview, and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, liked it, got anything out of it. Suggest subjects for future podcasts, and if you'd like to volunteer, and subscribe to the 3-Minute Therapy podcast to stay on the rational side of life.